Hey y'all, Billy Thomas here, and in today's video we're going to take a look at creating update queries in SQL Server. Let's get to work. I'm here in SSMS and we're going to update one of these columns here in customer. And you can of course type out SQL if that's what you want to do, but I'm going to show you how to sort of cheat and use SSMS to have that type the SQL out for you. And then you can learn the SQL syntax later on, and if it's faster for you to type it, then so be it. But I use SSMS quite a bit when I do this. So if you go to your table and you right mouse click on it, and instead of hitting the select 1,000 rows, you're going to hit edit top 200 rows, this little section right here. If we hit that, it just brings up the table, all the rows and all of the columns inside of the table. Now, when you're in this edit mode, you have the ability to now actually enter data in. So if we wanted to put data in here that said, oops, there's no row there. So if I wanted to put something in there, I can go ahead and put it in there, right? Let's set that back to just nulls, right? So I can actually edit things in here when I'm in this edit mode. Now, if we want to use SQL, let's say we wanted to use SQL to update this column to all be true. So how would we do that now that we're sitting here? Well, up here, there's different places to turn on the pane. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and turn on all the panes. Now we have the diagram pane, we've got the criteria pane, we've got the SQL pane, and we've got the results pane. So each one of these. Now, what we want to do is we just want to update this no sales column. So the first thing I do is I start pulling off all the columns that I don't care about, right? So, and I'm going to use all the way down here to this guy right here. So now if I look at this and I'm going to just, you can change back and forth. So if you start in this edit mode, you can change back to all these different types. So if I do a select instead of a update, it'll just show me the data, right? So you can see down here in SQL, it's just typed in select top 200. Now I'm going to get rid of the 200. That's just something I do out of habit. And now it'll select all the rows, which in this case there's only 4, but it was limited before. Now, what I want to do is I want to set this guy, I'm going to change the type to an update query. And when I do that, you'll see that there's these different columns. So it says, what's your column? What table are you updating? And then what value do you want in that column? So I want to say this is going to be true. All right, and the way that we do that is not typing true, we type in a 1 because it's a bit column, which is funny because it puts, you type in a 1, but then it displays true. It is what it is, right? So now if I run this, okay, it's going to update customer, which is the table. It's going to set the column Zeno sales to 1. Let's run it, okay? And it says 4 rows affected by the last query. Now, if I want to look to see what just happened, I'm going to change the type to a select and then just execute it, and boom, there you go. Your data has been updated using SSMS. Now look, how do you do it in SQL? Well, if you're going to actually type out the SQL, you can go over here, click new query, and you can actually type out the data, select, well, let me change it back to update, right? So update to 1. Right, so you would actually have to type out all of this and put it in here. You'd have to type this out and execute it, and you would get the same thing. Okay, so you can do it in SSMS, or you can type out the code and run it over in a query editor. Either way, you're going to get the result you're looking for. Now, if I say this, let's set this back to null. Execute that. All right, and then let's look at it now. You have to refresh this data, so let me change it to select, run. Now it's back to null. That very quickly is the way you use update queries in SQL Server. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please like, subscribe, and share with others. Have yourself a great day.